I want to be honest with you, for 2 years of my trading journey, I believe the problem was my strategy. I kept changing my strategy, trying this, trying that, tweaking it, adjusting something to try give me that golden edge that would fix my unprofitable trading and finally make me profitable. The key thing is, it was never really just a strategy. And what was holding me back is a group of specific things in my trading psychology. It was destroying my trading from the inside out. And I'm going to explain exactly the specific things that was holding me back and what I have seen hold back a lot of traders because most of them were able to relate to me. I traded live every single day on YouTube for 3 years with a verified track record of entry and exit all done live. This really tested my psychology. This also allowed me to see the same psychological patterns happen in others while I was able to expose myself trading in front of an audience. And I can tell you with uttermost certainty is fixing these things with my trading psychology is what took me from making no money to making a couple of hundred, scaling that to making thousands of dollars per day and making my first 100K all documented live. The first thing that was destroying my trading psychology, and at the end of this video, I'm going to actually input a tool that I use to help my trading psychology for free. So make sure that you check that out and leave a like if you enjoy. But it was exactly something that didn't involve trading. And this was pretty hard to find out because I was pretty used to looking for things in my own trading. But this wasn't something to do with trading. The issue is, in trading, it demands you to be extremely disciplined. As traders, we tend not to be disciplined. We take trades when we shouldn't. We add too much risk. We do so many undisciplined actions that normally result in me losing money. I used to risk $100 on my personal account, but I would find myself losing $2,000. That shouldn't be a possibility. That means I should have lost 20 trades. But that $2,000 I lost was in 3 trades. Why? Because I was undisciplined with my risk. I would say that I was risking 100, but I would lose discipline and go risk a couple of thousand and end up putting my account in jeopardy. This is something that I realized is not to do just with your trading. This is something that was going on outside of the charts. And once I started to add discipline outside of the charts, I could relate it back into the charts. You see, trading is very, very complicated. This is going to expose the most things about you that you don't even know that you had or the way you feel. People think that it's such an easy game in the mind, but it's actually not. It is super complicated, and I would say it's up there with one of the most challenging things when it comes to mentality and psychology. Reason being is because you test with emotions, financial emotions. You don't test with physical emotion, but you can get pretty physical if you get pissed off at the chart. I've been there before. RIP to my table. But in saying that, I do find it much more challenging, and what I did was start to have something that is disciplined outside of the charts. I started to go to the gym and I had a routine. I forced myself to eat meals, I forced myself to lift in the gym, track my lifts and actually look to progress towards a goal. In trading, our goal is to make money. You want to have something outside of trading that has a goal and requires discipline. Could be a sport, could be anything, and that is exactly what trading requires. If you start that now, you're already one step ahead. The second biggest problem was the classic ones. We either overtrade or undertrade. I was overtrading, which led me then to completely freeze when I reached the charts. And this is where I learned the most important lesson that took me 3 years to discover, which is that it's not me who has the problem, it's the charts causing me. And this is something that people don't really understand. We keep changing strategy. I went through smart money concepts, complex strategies. As the strategy started to get more complex, I started to find that the more complex the strategy was, the more emotional I felt because the charts bring out the emotion. You never felt FOMO because you're a FOMO person. You felt FOMO because you saw the chart run away from you and you couldn't enter. You never had overtrading because you just randomly overtrade. You overtraded because you took a loss and you wanted to get that loss back. Price action on the charts causes us emotion, and having a strategy that is very well defined and clear is the only way that we could stop doing this. For me, my biggest problem was to completely overtrade and then completely freeze. The cycle was overtrade, completely freeze, miss trades, overtrade again, because I would miss, I would get FOMO and I would want to overtrade, and I couldn't break that cycle, and all it was doing is destroying my account. At the root cause, they were both the same thing. No system, no accountability. Whether I undertraded or overtraded, freezing and overtrading both had the same problem. The one fix I did to do this is to set out a system that I was confident to stick to. That is the same system I still stick to today, and I swear by it. It has performed for me and multiple others who's been able to achieve 6 figures worth of payouts, all proven, all done through this same system. But without the system, I would go back into that cycle. Yes, you will have your mess ups where you overtrade. But if you're overtrading from a specific thing on the charts, at least you have a system to come back to. And you're not supposed to be perfect. People think trading psychology is perfect. They make you feel bad because you feel like every time you do something, you're doing something wrong. We don't want to try to be perfect because that's impossible. We're human. But what we want to do is find the patterns that cause us to repeat these and reduce that by trying to remove the thing that causes us to fail most of the time or overtrade and work around it. We want to reduce it, not eliminate it. Otherwise, we would be a little bit of the most insane trader. I would say probably at my stage, I've got, to a stage where I don't overtrade a lot or undertrade, but there are times where the markets will test your psychology. And it's okay to slip up. We just don't want it to blow your whole account. The next thing is actually no clear path. I think this is the most painful thing because we set a goal when we start to trade. I want to make X amount of money. I want to do this by this. I want to be profitable. But then we don't have a path to do it because this person is telling you to do it like this. That person is telling you to do it like this. This person has that experience. That person has this experience. I'm going to speak from my experience because I was exactly like you watching this video. And the whole reason I started this channel is to share my experiences, and it's blown up into something with over 100K subscribers and me being able to show my system working to its fullest and actually generate successful results for others. But it all started with the same cause as you, as I just wanted to get good at this game. So this information I'm about to tell you comes from the pain of me going and suffering through all of the things that you guys are probably experiencing now because it's normal. The path was the one that sucked the most because whenever you feel like you're making progress, you get stripped away of that. You blow your account. You can't pass your prop firm challenge. You wanted a payout. You were thinking when you started, I want to make 5-6K from trading a month. You can't even pass your challenge. You don't have a path. What's next? Where do I go next? I can't even pass a challenge. What about a payout? What if I told you there's an easy way to get a path, and the path is going to solve most of your psychological issues because you have clarity? Whether you stick to the path or not, that is up to you. That demands to have some sort of tenacity. You need to be built for this. You need to become the person who deserves a payout. And that requires change. If you're not there making money from trading right now and you're watching this, the person you are today is not going to be the same person. The person who makes money is going to be your new version, and that's the person who's going to get paid. So that change goes through following a path, having a system, accountability. The minute I kept myself accountable, how did I keep myself accountable? I made a decision to live stream every single day, expose myself of losses, wins. That was accountability. I put my brand at reputation, my ego at reputation, because I showed everything transparently. But that was not something bad. It was accountability. Others use accountability by having communities where you share your trade ideas, make sure you're held accountable, trade with people like me to make sure that, hey, I'm being with a guy who's disciplined. If I shadow him, if I'm trading while he's trading, I should be very focused. This will remove a lot of your issues and it will teach you how to come to the charts on a day-to-day basis. But without a path, without a clear system, there's no way of improving. If you just watch my free course on YouTube, you have the start of a path. It costs $0, only time. If you watch my videos on YouTube, you have the start of a path. You have a system, you stick to that system, you start to grow and you start to do what you set out to achieve. Once I fixed all of these things, my results completely changed. It wasn't the system that I changed. It was the psychology that was causing me to break my own system. Instead, I just stuck to it. And this completely changed the outlook of my trading. I was healthier on the charts. I showed up when I needed to, not sat there for 12 hours a day. I was able to identify what went wrong and what went right. And the way I did that was using this document. This document simply, every time I made a certain mistake, whether it was FOMO, whether it was greed, I would add a number there. And at the end of the week, I would review exactly which number was the highest, which meant that is the exact pattern that I need to work on. Remember, trading psychology is individual. The way you think is not the way I think. You need to have someone that's able to identify that and help you. Someone who you can bring this data to and say, hey, I need help with this. That is the most ideal situation. But if you don't collect the data, even you won't know. This document and this sheet I'm going to put for free in my Telegram. It's linked in the description. So you guys can check that out. If you've recognized any of these patterns, I want you to know that they're all fixable, because I've done it myself. But I also know how much faster this would have been if I had the right system, the right accountability, and the right resources to push me forward and not have to figure out this myself. So if you're looking to take things a little bit further past YouTube, down below is an application. Make sure to apply. And if it's right for you, I'll see you on the other side. With that being said, take care, trade sharp, and hopefully catch you guys very, very soon.